Hello, welcome back to the Real Talk channel. Today we're going to be talking about a factor that is really important, um, in our journey towards existence. You know, um, especially as it relates to our society these days. And how this factor, how much, in fact, it goes a long way. It affects our vision, our focus, and our life's purpose. I'm talking about the factor of mentality. You know, I think, and I'm sure most of us agree with me that, an individual's mentality, goes a long way to influence his approach in a lot of situations, or how he sees things, even his perspective. You know, that's the power of mentality. Your mentality can be the difference between success and failure. Mentality is powerful. It's so powerful that if you are someone that follows sports a lot, sporting events like football, boxing, you name it, you see that before a big game, before a career deciding game or a season deciding game, you see that the players, just like the coaches, engage in media mind games with their opponents. This to show you that psychology is very powerful. Aside the talents, aside the hard work you put in anything you are doing, your mentality is as important. If you don't have the right mentality in approaching, certain goals, trust me, you've already started losing. It's a very powerful thing, and you don't want to mess with it. Just like it's mentality is a mental block. It's a mental block in a lot of things you do. Let's bring this concept, our discussion to be more relatable. Let's bring it down to a relatable, scenario in our society. You see, by the way, you see that there are a lot of very successful stories we hear in our society where people defy all odds, defy overwhelming odds to still achieve success. When they tell you their story, you see that one thing that stands out in their story is their perspective despite their situation, their mentality in approaching the challenge that have been placed before them. I've never seen a person that has the wrong mentality become successful. They are outliers. They are very insignificant exceptions that, one way or another, in fact, their success was largely not because of their effort or anything, but it's very rare for you to achieve, personal success and like your life success, for you to be fulfilled, fulfill your life's goal or vision. You have to have the right mentality. Now, talking about a scenario, you see that, in our society, there's one poison that is a symptom of, once you discover it in an individual or anybody around you, you see that is the most significant symptom or display of someone who who approaches the situation with the wrong mentality, or who approaches life in general with the wrong mentality. And that is entitlement. You see, anybody that, any individual, or any person around you, be them your friends, be them your family, be them strangers even, that you discover this symptom of entitlement, entitlement to a point that's even unjustifiable. You see that is a very telltale sign of having the wrong mentality. When sometimes this concept of entitlement, we get it wrong most times. When people, the way of nature is the way of nature to receive, you have to give. When nature has given you, you have to give to society. So it's more like a give and take, kind of thing. And yes, when people have received favor from you, help from you, or any, you're close to you and all that, yes, sometimes they can feel entitled to reciprocity, when they find themselves in a pickle, But when they don't get it, their reaction to not getting it matters a lot, When they don't get that help from you, you see, the way the person with the right mentality will operate in that instance and the way the person with the wrong mentality are different. For instance, winners, the winner mindset, people that have the winner mindset, the right mentality, the right approach to their affairs in life, they keep their expectations very low, because it enables them to maintain a level head while dealing, with life challenges. They keep their expectations very low. That is why gratitude is big for such people. Gratitude. They see that no matter what the situation is, they see that once they receive from someone, they imagine that, okay, well, this person chose to give even when he shouldn't have, he didn't have to, so sometimes even in situations where you think that, you should have gotten, or you feel entitled to favor, when you don't get that favor, don't don't lose yourself or lose your mind because of it. Exhibit the right mindset, the right mentality by being grateful, and still maintaining still maintaining a healthy relationship and a healthy our disposition in that situation. You don't have to, because sometimes you can't tell it all what people's situation are or what people's are facing. So this is important, because when you feel entitled to something and you don't get it, you see that it begins to work in your mind in a certain way that it is like a vessel that has been fed with the poison. Rather than you seeing opportunities or seeing how that disappointment could have turned to a blessing for you, which most times is, it becomes a mental block. All you see is that, had this person done this for me now, I would have been doing this, I would have been here, I would have been there. It blocks your mind to other doors which may have been opened by the door that was closed. So this is very important, and it's usually, our society is is replete with, people both young and old that's full of entitlement, and it's very bad, and it can limit your potentials. When you drink from the stream of entitlement, it it blinds you to the potential that can, you know, what that disappointment can, bring, to bear. So, um, also, you see that when you are operating in a certain level, when you are operating in that level of, sorry, when you are operating in that level of mindset, you see that a lot, you see that you have an edge. You have an edge over a lot of people in terms of the way you see things, in terms of your perspective. You see the bigger picture. You see deeper, more, way beyond surface level, and you maintain a healthier mindset. You maintain a healthier, you have a healthier mental health. Your mental health becomes better for it, because if you are not in a good state of mind, you cannot recognize opportunities even when they are staring you in the face. You cannot see what just a few are seeing or what others are not seeing. That's just the truth. That's why Mr. A will be seeing a cup as half full, while Mr. B will be seeing a cup as half empty. You dwell on your odds. You dwell on the odds against you, instead of dwelling on the factors that actually play in your favor. How the odds can actually inspire, or can actually inspire invention, because they say adversity or necessity is the mother of invention. When creativity becomes necessary, but your mindset, your negative mindset, is blocking that creative aspect of your mind to work out an invention when it is necessary. But you've downed your tools. You'll be like, you've given up. Be like, oh, your mentality is blocked. You'll be like, oh, I can't do this. So far, this is there. But you forget that there are a lot of people that, are in similar situations like you, that are doing better, are better off. So, it's important to remain impersonal. It's important to don't take a lot of things personally. Take people the way they are. Keep your expectations low. Don't put yourself in a position that a lot of things deeply disappoint you. Don't put yourself in that position, because it's always a baggage to your mind. It's always extra baggage to your mind, and it kind of can draw you back from focusing on the more important things, which is moving forward. So your mindset, in a lot of ways, is make yourself when you have let go of these baggages, you see that you become an unstoppable machine. And I'm not kidding. You become an unstoppable machine, focused and contrived on a singular goal and a clearer vision. So it's always good to not take things personal. A lot of things about life, yes, will come against you, will try to weigh you down, will try to, but make sure that up here you remain positive, you remain goal-oriented, you remain focused, and you remain positive. You remain you are joy. You have joy in you, genuine joy, no matter what the situation might be. You see that way. That negative mentality, or the factors that can bring about negative mentality, will not infect your mind. They are like a virus. Once they infect your mind, it's hard to get rid of. So make sure that you protect, as much as you protect your body, as much as athletes protect their body and their talent. They train, they work out, they make sure that their body is in a good shape to deliver, to deliver on their talents when needed. You also see that their coaches, they pay attention to the mental aspect of the game, because it's, if not more important, it's the most important. Because if you don't have the correct mindset going into a competition, life is when you have a goal, you see life as a journey. So when you don't have the right mentality going into this journey, once you see challenges, once you see the odds coming against you, you give up very easily, because you are not equipped with the right tools. One of the most important is keeping your mind clean and clear, of all things that can, inhibit you from achieving your goals. So the concept of mentality can never be underestimated. And this video has become too long already. So in our next video, we'll give life instances, where our mentality, due to our poor mentality, or due to our negative mentality, the wrong mentality to things, how it has, actually affected people's achievements, and how it has affected us. It affects us generally, and how we can actually curb it. At least we understand, the importance now, what it is, and the importance. So in our next video, which will be much shorter, I didn't know I've gone this long, we'll talk about, we'll give instances, scenarios, and just basically digging. Thank you.